Hi, I'm Avery Miller, and I'm reviewing The Perks of Being a Wallflower today by Stephen Chbosky. Um, so I didn't know what going into this, what it was about at all. And when I first started reading it, I did think, I was like, all right, maybe it's a little stereotypical. And then, like, as soon as Charlie started making friends with the people he made friends with, I was like, oh, okay, they're different. And he goes to his first party. Um, and he, as soon as he walked into the bathroom and saw Brad and oh my God, what's his name? Patrick making out, um, I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot more to this story than I thought, and the character building was like intensely natural and while also like I will say like very mature for high school, but some people are. So it's kind of cool. I don't know. I liked it. I liked them a lot. Each character had their own quirks. Um, I think it's kind of biased to say, but my favorite character was the teacher. Just because the way he taught Charlie was amazing, and the interactions there were just. And also, I looked up every book that he told them to read, and I was excited because next I'm gonna be reading Catcher in the Rye, so I'm super excited about that. And he had a lot of good things to say in the book about it. But anyways, I'll get down to my notes just because I want to make this straight and to the point. So I wrote these while I was reading, so they're not all linear, or they are linear, but they're not all completed because I still was going through it. My first note was that it reads almost like a journal or diary, which it kind of is because Charlie uses this person just to get out his feelings when he has no one else to talk to, or even when he does have someone to talk to. It's not like he can talk about his day to anyone because his parents don't really want to listen. Um, and like the people he does see every day, he doesn't need to recap what happened with them every day. But it honestly, I think it comes off as very natural and like very freshman in high school, like new stuff. Um, oh, and Charlie's voice comes across instantly. It's so strong that you never feel like he's lying to you because it does feel super personal in these letters, and it just feels real. That was like halfway through, I was like, I hadn't even thought about it, and then I was thinking more about him as a character because it makes you, but it was just really good. Um, while I will say that his like feelings are real, it does seem like he's super naive the whole time, and he doesn't want to believe things that are true, and that was a common theme throughout the whole book. And then you finally at the end, like I wrote that like towards the beginning, and then finally at the end, I was like, oh, I get why He's just been hiding from his past the whole time. He doesn't know. My example was when he reads Michael's poem to the group, and they all react the way they should, but he just pretends to not know the weight of the poem since it's really a suicide note. I mean, that alone is just like, oh my god, this kid has been through hell and back, and it was impactful. And oh my god, reading that poem was brutal. I yeah, I mean, just like each one, I was like, oh, okay, 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 and then the last stanza, you're like, all right, this was my final like little thing. The clear theme in this book was violation of consent, with the first instance being Charlie seeing the rape, like at the party at his sister's party when he was younger, and he tells Sam about this, and instantly she's like, "Don't say anything." She doesn't like force it, but like he asks, he's like, "Oh, should we do anything about it?" And she says no, and you're like, huh, "I wonder why." Like, I mean, to me, if someone told me that, I would instantly jump on it. But then you think about more about it, and then you learn more about Sam. And when she was 7, even as 7, her first kiss was one of her father's friends. Like that alone, like she's been carrying that with her the whole like the first person she told, I think was Mary Kate, I think her name was, um, Charlie's like love interest at one point, and then Patrick, and then she finally told when she finally told Charlie, it was just kind of like, whew, okay, I guess that past made sense to me, and it just I feel like people didn't want to speak up about their past in this book until the very end where Charlie um oh well another sorry to jump around but another violation of consent was Patrick kissing Charlie when Charlie didn't stop him, but he clearly, I mean, Charlie's straight, so I mean, I do understand that Patrick was like confused and he didn't know what to do, but I mean, you gotta like, and he knows now because um, what's her name? Sam tells him she was like, why did you let him do that? And like she kept that conversation with Charlie, like clearly brought out a lot of feelings, and then he finally they finally he's with the girl of his dreams. They're making out and they go into the bed, and as soon as like things start getting serious, like clearly all of those memories, along with the talk that they had just had about like consent, basically, it kind of like it all triggered for him, and it all lined up, and that to me I think is such an important thing to get across to people because he finally stands up, says, "Hey, this happened to me," told his mom and dad, and he didn't let himself feel he did feel like the victim, but he didn't let that stop him and wanted to keep living his life the way he wanted to live it in the end, and he seemed happy for the first time like almost the whole book, and happy for him, not just for happy for someone else, and I think that itself was just super important. I really ended up liking this book, and also I read it in like a day because it's like once you start reading it, you feel like you're having a conversation with him, so you just want to keep reading and reading. But overall, really really good book. Sorry it went over 5 minutes, but I'll try better on the next one.